Here's how lineups flex now that he's in. Closing time against switch everything. Roll out Reeves, Wiggins, Lebron, Rui, AD. Use slip switches on the weak side. Deep seal guards on the block. Protect the arc with length and close rebounds with two grown men plus Rui boxing his weight. Against drop, you swap Rui for a spacer if needed. Keep Wiggins in the slot to hold the nail. And let a D live at the dotted line with the lob now open. Against big wings who love mid-post reps, you put Wiggins on the front line so LeBron's legs are saved for the final 2 minutes of decisions and drives. And the second unit? A little more honest, a lot more predictable in the best way. Wiggins and the bench guard run empty corner pick and rolls that end up as slot threes or bully drives. He pairs with a small to suffocate second unit creators who thrive on comfort. Role clarity is everything. We're not asking Wiggins to cosplay as a heliocentric scorer. We're asking for 3 things every night. 1. Guard the name on the other whiteboard and make him work. 2. End defensive possessions like a forward who's tired of re-guarding. 3. Fill the corners, cut on the 45, and be the adult on second side actions. If the jumper rides a cold stretch, the defense and glass are still paying rent. If the offense goes quiet in the first half, keep your legs and turn the fourth quarter into your neighborhood. He's done this on the largest stage. That muscle memory doesn't expire. If you want the why in one possession, it's this. Down 3 with 2:06 left. We go empty corner. LeBron and a D run the two-man dance. The nail help pauses because Wiggins is sitting in the slot. The corner defender refuses to leave because he's been burned twice tonight by corner threes. And AD walks into a push shot from 8 feet. Next trip, the opponent tries to punish what they think is the weaker link. Wiggins bodies the star wing, denies the catch, forces a bailout pass with 7 on the clock, and we survive the possession without scrambling. That's 4 points prevented and 2 points added in a 90-second span because a wing did his job like a professional. Let's talk risk in human words. Wiggins has had valleys where the jumper sits at the station and the energy reads low. That's the truth. It's also true that in a defined role with non-negotiables, he's a winning piece who lifts your baseline. And baseline matters more than spikes in May. He doesn't need 20 shots to feel seen. He needs a defined job and the trust that doing it earns minutes. Darvin Ham will lay that on the table with the same frankness he uses with veterans. Defend, rebound, run, and the offense will find you. Our stars will keep the diet simple. Cut when I draw 2, screen for me to force the switch, shoot in rhythm, and crash like you're stealing something. That's not romance. That's a blueprint. Culture and personality slots matter in a room that's already found its voice. Wiggins is famously quiet when the work is clear. That works here. We're not auditioning speeches. We're collecting habits. He has finals proof of concept as a wing defender who tilts matchups and as a rebounder who erases second chances. We're plugging that into a team that already believes defense travels and that role players decide how long the journey is. If you need volume scoring, we have engines. If you need the thing between the big things, we've now got another pair of hands. I'll say the blunt part out loud. I care less about how this looks on a trade machine and more about how it feels with 5 on the floor when the crowd goes quiet and the angle of a foot decides a possession. Wiggins makes those moments easier. He takes the loudest score and turns down the volume. He sits in the corner until he's supposed to appear somewhere else at full speed. He finds a body, leans, and the rebound belongs to us. That's why the board went from monitor to completed. If you've ridden with me this far, do the thing that keeps this community strong, drop a like, and make sure you're subscribed with alerts on. It keeps us together when the rumor storm turns into actual phone calls, and when the phone calls turn into actual rotations. I bring you level-head breakdowns with a fan's heart because that's the only way. I know how to do this. 2 final snapshots. First, Phoenix, late March, Game 3 of a road swing. Booker gets hot, the building hums, and our offense calls for 2 minutes. Wiggins cleans glass twice, hits 1 slot 3, and carves out a deep seal for a free throw pair. We survive the surge and flip it into a 7-2. Second, Denver, second round, Game 5. Murray hunts matchups. Jokic pulls the strings, and your lungs are on the floor. Wiggins takes the tougher wing assignment so LeBron can see everything. At cleans glass because the wings are cracking backs. The margin you bought in February is the margin you cash in. May, that's the job. Tell me straight in the comments before I close this. Do you sign off on this kind of move when the cost is a protected first and responsible matching money? Or do you hold back for a pure sniper even if he gives the stops back on the other end? Do you want the wing who bends games in quiet places or the shooter who makes highlight packages? I'm reading you all night. My professional read. Clean and to the point. The Wiggins addition lifts our defensive floor, stabilizes our glass, and gives our stars cleaner late-game math. The cap path that respects our future is real, and the on-court role is plug and play. And yes, until the league office logs the call and the pen meets paper, everything lives in the realm of informed expectation. That's me being as straight with you as I am excited. The plan we're walking through is the plan I'm hearing mapped. The fit is exactly what we needed, and the moment it crosses from the whiteboard to the wire, you'll see it the same second I do. If you value calm analysis and real basketball talk, subscribe to Lakers News Fan Report, tap the bell, and share this with the diehard who texts you during free throws. We're built for the long part of the season. Let's go finish the job. Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report. Tonight isn't rumor. It's reality drawn in dry erase ink and circled twice. The board in El Segundo reads, completed. The rotation card has a new name penciled into the wing slot. And the film staff already cut a reel of actions that drops straight into our playbook without ripping out a page. I've seen the map, exact matchups, closing five combinations, cap checks that don't blink under the apron, and the sequence list for what happens on the first possession after a made basket. I'm going to walk you through it all, why this move changes how we survive the mud of playoff basketball, what it does to LeBron's defensive workload and AD's rebounding stress, how it frees Reeves to be a problem solver instead of a firefighter, and where the price line should have settled if both sides kept their heads. Stay with me, because I'll open the door to the locker room and talk fit, then flip over to the cap ledger, then bring it right back to the baseline to show how this piece steals back 2 or 3 possessions a night, the exact margin that wins a series. When I drop the name, it won't be for effect. It'll be because the basketball makes sense and the timing matches the board. Here's our temperature check. Straight from the court, this team still detonates in transition when we stack stops. And in fourth quarters, we can summon a half-court rhythm built on LeBron's command and AD's gravity. But in the long, breathless middle of high-leverage games, 2 high shells, top-lock shooters, nail help arriving on the half-beat, we needed one more adult wing who does the honest work, set and slip at the right beat, cut when the defender whistles a tune only he hears, box out with malice, live in the corners without sulking, and attack the second side like it owes him money. This isn't about fireworks. It's about 8 points, 3 extra rebounds, and 2 defensive possessions that died quietly because a long forward slid to the right square, a half-second earlier than the offense expected. Now look at the conference. Denver still plays 3 steps ahead if you're late with the low man. Minnesota's length squeezes the paint and chokes off middles. Phoenix will bait you in the pull-ups, then hit you with a 10-2 in a minute and a half. The top of the West has standardized 2 ideas: no easy corners and no second shots. We had gravity. We needed glue. We had star power. We needed a wing who can hunt your best scorer on Monday and then be invisible on Tuesday, except for the 9 quiet things that made winning look normal. That's the exact lane we filled. So let's talk basketball before we talk business. First action on the card. LeBron initiates with a gut screen from a D. We spin to Chicago on the right, and our new wing camps in the weak side corner reading the low man. If that tagger leans 1 degree too far, the 45 cut turns into a layup. If he stays home, our guy becomes a 39% corner threat who forces the switch to live with a bad choice. Second action, Spain pick and roll with Reeves as the back screen. New wing starts in the slot as the screen's shadow, then pops to the slot when the defense takes the cheese. If the switch is late, it's a rhythm 3. If the switch is early, it's a rip-through drive into a body and 2 free throws. Third action, Horn's elbow DHO, he screens for the guard, flips his hips like a tight end sealing the edge, dives into the dunker spot, and seals a smaller body for a catch 8 feet out. No dribbling the air. 1 gather. 2 points. This is grown-up offense. On defense, the job description is printed on the wall. Take the star wing at the point of attack so LeBron can quarterback from the second line, contest first, finish the possession second, and run third. Against bigger slasher types, our wing plays chest first, wins the step and the angle, and trusts that at the nail and on the box, there's early help and heavy hands. Against off-ball killers, he's the chaser who makes you earn every step. Against teams that love to force weak links into screens, he toggles on the fours without blinking. That's why this move sits right at the intersection of need and identity defense. Glass, discipline, dot cap, and apron reality never sleep, so let's be adults. Any in-season addition has to check 3 boxes. 1. Salary match without setting fire to your depth. 2. Asset cost that respects Stepien guardrails and keeps a first-rounder insulated enough to sleep at night. 3. Contract runway that doesn't pin you under a future ceiling. The frame that makes sense looks like mid-tier salary out, mid-tier salary in, a protected first that makes sense in a multi-year arc, plus second-round grease and maybe a swap that doesn't invite nightmares. That's the sober, responsible version. If the bidding war goes unprotected now, prospect later, you thank the room and you move on. The window isn't a panic button. Miami. Yes, they're in every room where adult wings or discuss culture match. Wing need, salary ballast. That shadow matters because it keeps the market honest. But it also creates 3-team lanes where their move opens a slot, and our offer travels cleaner across the cap spreadsheet. This was always going to be a puzzle for multiple hands. All right, you've walked the film room with me, and you've sat at the cap table. Let's hang the jersey on the hook. Andrew Wiggins in purple and gold. Long live and stubborn on defense when the assignment has a name. A rebounding wing who climbs over a body to erase a second chance. A cutter who doesn't need the ball to feel relevant. A catch-and-shoot worker who punishes late help. A guy who, when he leans into the fight, makes your best scorer angry because he just turned every step into labor. The version that wins playoff minutes isn't chasing rhythm dribbles. He's chasing the next winning detail. That's the version our staff has carved out on the card.